Companies are paying $7 million for 30 seconds of ad time to get their ads in front of everyone's eyeballs at the Taylor Swift Bowl. That is the Super Bowl, sorry. Apparently there was a football game going on there as well. Anyways, we've got a review of some of the trailers that came out last night. Let's talk about that now on That Park Place. Good morning, everybody. We're recording this in the morning, but it'll be out in the afternoon. We are here. I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and with me is Mr. Vash Sky. Vash, did you have a good night last night?
I did. It was, I mean, the game was okay, but that fourth quarter, whoa. And then the overtime, whoa. Mind-blowing.
I had to take the kids home, and I thought the 49ers had it in the bag. So I was very surprised to find out that it went into overtime and that the Chiefs won. But if I had believed the rhetoric online, it was predestined, and maybe even the president, according to a very bizarre tweet late night, predestined this game to come out the way that it did.
Just like we drew it up. Am I right, Jonas?
Oh,
very strange.
Yes, and according to the Walt Disney Company, you should, next year, by this time, you should be able to lose all of your money on predictions for the Super Bowl using the ESPN app.
That's right. Interesting you say that, Jonas, because I guess somebody actually called the score and the overtime period and everything. Yeah, the last time I checked into it, the house was like, we're examining how much money we may have lost on this. So,
oh wow, that's amazing.
Just goes to show you, sometimes the house does lose in Vegas.
So this morning we are going through some of these Super Bowl ads. We're not going to show all of them, maybe not show any of them, in fact, because they're. We would like for this channel to continue to exist, and YouTube would probably help these people. And even though it's free advertising, some of the music in here is obviously copywritten. So let's go through this by Andrew J. Salazar from Discussing Film. Every new movie trailer released for Super Bowl 2024. Here's a big wall of text. We're not going to go through those. Deadpool and Wolverine, I'll tell you right now, we might revisit that here in just a moment, even though that is obviously the big one. A Quiet Place, Day One. This is the reboot of the Quiet Place franchise, helmed by, I believe, the original people. Vash, did you take a look at this one?
I did. Actually, it looks pretty interesting. I like the kind of urban setting of it and everything, how this thing actually pops off. I think it's a very intriguing trailer, at least for me.
Yeah,
as a casual fan.
This is one of those things where horror premises, they're kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they're really great. And if you did this movie fresh and said this is where we are starting, I don't know that I would be interested. But starting with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt doing a low budget film that was really good and had an amazing premise. I remember watching this one in theaters and it being dead silent in the theater, like I was afraid to eat my popcorn in the movie theater.
Whoa.
It was so quiet in there. So it became kind of a meme watching that film. I hope this does well. I think the fact that it is now an established franchise, that's probably going to mean at least a little bit more money, but this is definitely something that cost them more money to make than the original. So therefore, it's more of a risk, despite the fact that they have an IP attached. Wicked. Now, this one, I wasn't actually expecting a decent trailer here. Wicked by John Chu. It sounds like this is going to be Wicked Part 1, so they're splitting it into 2 movies now. John Chu started, I believe, with dancer stuff, and so him going into musicals, that's not that far off. Looking at this, obviously it's Broadway. I didn't see a lot that made me remember that dancer vibe, but man, the soundtrack here looks like it's going to be pretty good.
It does look like it's going to be pretty good. This has been in the works for quite a while, like a long time. This actually goes back a ways. Interestingly, it has some origins with Marvel and the Marvel rights out in Universal.
Oh, really?
In Florida. Yes. As a condition of getting those rights back, I believe it was Brian Roberts himself who said, "Hey, you gotta can the Oz and Great and Powerful," and Bob Iger's like, "No." Because obviously Universal wanted to get into the Wicked game themselves even back at that time. And, well, that movie crashed and burned, and, well, we still don't have those rights. So it didn't end up working out. What I'm surprised about this trailer, though, yeah, besides the fact that they actually used the silver slippers, not the ruby red slippers. Famously, those silver slippers are book accurate, whereas the ruby red slippers, well, that came with the innovation of color and so forth, and it you know has cinematic historical significance, obviously.
If you get a musical, generally they have good staying power, and is probably one of the reasons that we're still talking about the original Wizard of Oz film. It may not be the original, the Wizard of Oz film that we still talk about to this day from the late 1930s. I have hope that this might be good.
I have hope as well. I mean, the visuals look quite stunning, and this is coming out in November, which is going to be right up against Moana 2, by the way, and you can see what what a film at this stage should look like. Especially that's coming out 9 months here pretty soon here. It should be really, really good. Looks good. So high hopes for this one for sure.
Also, I will point out that Steven Schwartz has a screenplay credit on this one, and he's a guy who's worked with Disney for a very long time, and he has a good pedigree. He's worked with Alan Menken on some songs that and if this is successful and those songs end up in the zeitgeist more than Defying Gravity, which Defying Gravity was like the practice run for Let It Go from Frozen, and arguably a better song in some ways. This could end up in the cultural zeitgeist in a way that I think this has a lot of things in it that could spell success. But let's move on to the next one, Inside Out 2. Vash, what do you think about this one?
We've gone over this before, Jonas. Just not sure. I mean, there are things that really kind of they raise the hairs on the back of my neck a little bit, because I'm just a little worried. We've heard about the internal struggles at Disney, especially regarding the cultural shift that's taken place ever since John Lasseter was booted out of the company. Check the files for that, by the way. Film threat, good stuff right there. But being that this is kind of the modern Pixar, this could go a lot of different ways. It can go south real fast because they can touch on so many issues that are hot topics for them, obviously, and that have caused division in terms of fans of the company in the past.
Monkey Man, this one, I don't want to call it like Indian John Wick, but that would be the easiest way. If I were pitching this movie to a studio executive, that's what I would call it. This has a very strong trailer with a lot of action in it. Dev Patel, is he directed it, and he did the screenplay, and he did the story, and he's of course the producer. If you're doing all that, you might as well go for all of it. Maybe he edited it too. We don't know, but my goodness, the trailer here looks like a revenge film, and looks like it's got strong action. This guy seems to be very talented. I think this might be a solid action film. Vash, do you have any comment?
Definitely in the vein of John Wick, it looks like. And yes, I would, if I was pitching it, it's kind of how I would describe it too, to be honest with you. And maybe Patel was going for that as well, to be quite honest. We're making assumptions, but that could literally be the truth. Looks like a really strong film. I dig this. Love the John Wick series, love the John Wick franchise. There are films that are either in production, in development, or so, and that will expand that franchise. It'd be cool to see kind of something inspired by it. So I'm all for it.
Yep. Kung Fu Panda 4. Yep, they're doing another Kung Fu Panda film. That's probably a good thing.
Yes. Well, I mean, hey, the show University is Hollywood. There's always quite a few people in there every once in a while, and it's still popular. The trailer actually looks pretty decent. I don't know about you, Jonas. When you saw it, you excited?
Excited. As excited as I am for yet another Kung Fu Panda film. I think this is the kind of thing that I wouldn't worry about taking my kids to it. It's kind of typical DreamWorks. Looks like above average quality, but at the same time, they don't need to break the bank here.
Right.
Awkwafina is playing one of the lead roles in this, which makes me go, okay, are they phoning it in on the voice actor roles here? Jack Black pretty much always good. That guy can carry almost any film. It does have Ke Huy Quan in it somewhere, and I'm looking forward to finding out just what part he plays. And I hope that you could just put that guy on screen, and it would make me happy. He's such a joy. Speaking of animated films here, let's talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This one is, of course, technically live action, but I get the feelings that they didn't actually put monkeys in armor and put them on set.
I don't think so. No. Yeah, it's kind of funny because it does get to a point where it's like, isn't this just kind of an animated film? A lot of people said that about Avatar, which is interesting. This looks much stronger than I was originally anticipated. Whenever I heard Planet of the Apes, I was like, okay, well, what can we do here? But it actually looks really strong. This gives me hope, by the way, for the Alien film that's going to be coming out late summer, I believe. Because I think I had some reservations about that, especially after some of its latest entries, Prometheus on down. I don't know about all this, but hey, looks like the Fox studios there under the Disney banner are actually doing some pretty good work.
Yep. And all it takes is being detached from Disney.
Under all the thumb, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, The Fall Guy. This looks like it's intending to be a date movie. It's Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, written by Drew Pearce. He's solid. David Leitch is the director on this one. He's attached or was attached to another film as well, that being Jurassic Park. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime soon. Here. This looks like it's going for an 80s vibe. It's funny to say that because I think it's a recent movie. It's kind of a send up. He's a stunt guy, and there's some kind of romantic element with Emily Blunt here. And I have yet to see chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, but I like both of those actors, so this could be a good one.
I think it could be. It definitely caught my eye when I was watching it. I was like, whoa, that actually looks quite fun. So I think they're, like you said, Jonas, I think they're going for like this, I don't know, the edgy romantic film during February or whatever, or during this period, I guess. Mm-hmm. Sort of like Deadpool did back in the day. So could be interesting.
Twisters. It looks like they're gonna have 2 tornadoes in this one.
Yes, 2 tornadoes. I like that. I also like this one right here because, Twisters used to be at Universal Studios Florida back in the day. And I believe it took Jimmy Fallon took its place, if I'm not mistaken, right there.
Yeah.
But, some people were having fun with this. Disaster film, they've kind of fallen out of favor in recent years, I would say. But this one definitely, I saw a lot of buzz on it around the likes of X. Like, a lot of people were talking about this, whether they were making fun of it or they were like, all in on it. Tough to delineate between the two, but it definitely created some interest. So, I don't know. I mean, this has been in the works from what I understand for quite a while now. Finally coming out. It seems interesting. I just don't know how much it'll make back. Is kind of my call.
Yeah, I don't know. And if they can keep the budget in line, it could make money. I like Glenn Powell in this, obviously, who is in Top Gun Maverick, and right. He seems to be the go-to for muscly white dudes that are a bit stoic and a bit full of themselves, going and doing dangerous things. So if he's what we're getting in order to fulfill that, yeah, more roles for Glenn Powell. That being said, I haven't seen him be magnetic on screen yet. Maybe this will be the time when he exceeds, when he delivers above and beyond the expectation here. I like this guy. I want him to succeed, but right now it's like, well, could we please remind people of what Matthew McConaughey was like maybe 20 years ago or so?
Yes, yeah. It's one thing to play a role like he did in Top Gun Maverick. It's quite another to carry a film like this.
Yes,
of this part of this triumvirate what we see before us. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Despicable Me 4. This is the only one on this list, including Deadpool, that I think has the highest chance on getting $1 billion at the box office right now. That this is a very strong franchise with a lot of appeal that is probably not going to spend a lot of time talking about diversity. They're probably going to spend a lot more time talking about poop and farts and
Yes, bananas.
So
Yeah, I mean it's a little crude, but I mean this franchise just rakes in buku bucks. A lot of people were actually surprised that it wasn't part of Epic Universe. And, well, that's because it has a huge presence at Universal Studios Florida. But even so, it's expanding in its popularity and its incorporation into theme parks. Like I was saying before, I would say yes, this has the best chance of earning $1 billion. I don't know if it will though. I would peg this at probably about the 800 figure, which, because Illumination does keep those costs down, still within the realm of profitability as far as I'm aware. We'll have to see what the reported budget is on this and all the math associated with it, but I mean,
I'm sure they get this thing up. I'm sure they get this thing under 150 million.
Right.
And the cost of Steve Carell probably goes up every time. Although maybe it's one of those situations where they just go ahead and give him points on the back end. If directed by John Krasinski, written by John Krasinski, but starring Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski. I have some questions about this one. First of all, typical Ryan Reynolds marketing here. They go back to that Office joke. It's Randall Park saying that he is John Krasinski. Hilarious. But this one right here, Ryan Reynolds likes to push the envelope a little bit as far as the kids ratings. So there's probably someone out there that has no problem with the way that Ryan Reynolds does kids films. I think this is supposed to be a kids film, but I don't know. So did you see it, Vash? Do you have any thoughts?
Yes, I actually saw a big spot that they had for this in front of Migration, interestingly enough. What is it? It's the World of Imaginary Friends, is that right? That's where the if comes from.
Is. Which that's a great title, by the way, If.
Yes, I would agree. I'm not really too keen on this one. I got to be honest with you. When I saw it, some I guess a month or so ago now, I was like, ooh, that was the one that was like, I can never see myself going into a theater to actually see that one. So I got to be honest. I wasn't like, wasn't blown away. That's the hurdle for a lot of these films, right? Is they got to get people in the seats in theatrical, and I just don't know if that's going to bring people in.
Bob Marley, One Love. This one starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, which is he was in Secret Invasion, and he was fine in it. I don't judge people based off of their appearance in recent Marvel films because generally the material seems to be pretty flat themselves. But this, I watched the big game spot here, and it was about 30 seconds, and it was I got the idea that this is a Bob Marley biopic. That's about all I got from the trailer, and that he kind of looks like Bob Marley. If you squint real hard, he looks like Bob Marley, maybe a more handsome version of him. You've actually seen the trailer, though, Vash, right? What did you think?
Yes, I really dig this movie. There's been a lot of buzz surrounding this movie from the entertainment press and so forth. I guess it's been making the rounds a little bit, and a lot of people are really liking this a lot. And the production quality, it looks fantastic. Looks like it's going to be a really kind of honest portrayal of Bob Marley's life. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of racial overtones, I'm sure, and some modernisms, but it kind of comes with the source material, so it's fine. I don't
think there's a way you can do a serious Bob Marley biopic and not do at least a little bit of that.
Right. So, but it looks really honest, really faithful, looks super good. I'm not a huge Bob Marley fan myself, but the story fascinates me. So I am really looking forward to this one. It looks like they got this nailed down. We'll have to see what the word is. We noticed a lot of hype for like the Elvis, for example, biopics, and Queen obviously making some buku bucks right here. This one looks like it's going to be following in line.
Yeah, and I think that we've reached the end of the list here. But Deadpool, we did say we were going to talk about Deadpool. I think we're definitely going to move Deadpool to its own movie, to its own video. So. We can call anything a movie these days. So. There's more to talk about in the way that Disney specifically marketed at this Super Bowl between Disney's ad and the Deadpool ad, where they're obviously going in a different direction than I hesitate to use the phrase Walt would turn over in his grave, but I think he probably would have walked somebody out the door if they suggested Disney being used in the way that it was used across two different ads here. So we're going to be talking about that very soon. I generally don't like to do one of these where we just say, hey, and let's react to that, and let's react to that, and let's react to that. But at the same time, there are some people out there who apparently want to know what we talk about and what we think about these things on the internet. So what I would like for you to do is leave in the comments, is this the kind of thing that you enjoy? Because we don't know. Like this video if you like this video, though, or if you want to support the channel in general. Of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.